Alright, for ye mo bibia kwaba so kosoba POG Media. So you saw send any day the council media be subscribe it. No like no share media. I'm a phone so answer to me akabi. And do not forget to click on the notification bell so there be any update to be able to drop piano. Also answer able to me akabi. No asans watch your wide comment section. I'm you also opinion about this case about be doing komo. For currently in TIE and say a lawyer Martin Kpebu has been detained by the OSP for in say recently lawyer Martin Kpebu our new OSP and 710 my BBC Basebi I'm a for a year and say or friend for investigation be after that no a year or detaining no for in 7 months in 7 months.
The arrest of Martin Kpebu by the special prosecutor and earlier, and also is being sent to, or is actually being held at a National Intelligence Bureau facility here in Accra. This was confirmed by sources close to Martin Kpebu, and we got some updates some few minutes ago, which we're focusing on, staying the steam on to ensure that it's indeed what comes to pass eventually, beyond the assurances that we've gotten from our sources that there has been some sort of an intervention. But stay with us. This is one that we're keeping a close eye on. A number of you have been sending us messages on this, and this already there's a hashtag that we understand has gone out, free Martin Kpebu now. I don't know if we've seen that, and quite a number of you also sending us messages. We're going to run through it, just a bit of the messages, because we have a number of people who are also reaching us, getting in touch with us, phoning in to even contribute by themselves. And let's get a bit more detail, some of the comments that we're receiving right now. Joseph, what are the people saying?
Lots of engagement on the various social media platform. This comment here is from Jay Lambs. He says, attention has been shifted from Ken Oforiatta to Martin Kpebu.
Well,
Alfred, you have an important interview to
let's
bring
get
us.
on to the telephone right now. Professor Aaron Mike Okwe is a former Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. He's joining us right now, and also himself a renowned private legal practitioner for that matter. Professor Aaron Mike Okwe, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's good to hear from you. It's been a while. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now,
yes, thank you.
Great. You've been following the sequence of events now with Martin Kpebu, who now we've confirmed he is being held at a National Intelligence Bureau facility because earlier he attended to the invitation of the special prosecutor to assist in investigations about the matter that the special prosecutor is investigating. He came out to grant an interview, and when he was going in, there appears to have been some altercation between him and the special prosecutor, an officer of the special prosecutor. And when he went in, he was then told that he has been arrested or is under arrest because of that particular incident. This has been roundly condemned. But for you, from where you sit, is there any legitimate reason whatsoever for Martin Kpebu to have been subjected to this?
It is most unfortunate. Most unfortunate, and even more so, because we need a certain amount of stability, peace, decorum in this republic to go about our developmental matters. Very, very, very important. In the first place, the special prosecutor did not even have any business involving inviting Mr. Kpebu there. If Mr. Kpebu says you are corrupt, you can sue him, or can you refer him to another agency if you think there's a crime, to look into that, because your business is to investigate corruption. Is Mr. Kpebu being charged with corruption? He's definitely not being charged with corruption. Therefore, we mustn't just mix things up. Because I want peace in this country. One professor of something very typical of the whole of Africa. He says, we are a Praetorian society, confusing everywhere. People are abusing power everywhere. We don't strengthen our institutions, we just proliferate institutions. Instead of making the Attorney General's Department very strong to prosecute, we create something else. Those who lived at the time of this well-known DPP, Kpebu, will know how strong the Attorney General's Department has been before. And I believe that this is because we are not creating strong institutions. We keep on just proliferating and adding upon. Then we get confused in the process. I think what is happening now is very unfortunate. And all well-meaning Ghanaians must really condemn it. You know, bail being used to show people where power lies is not a yesterday matter. We have known it since legal practice decades ago. Bail being manipulated in this regard. There is no principle of law anywhere in any civilized country whereby the bail that must be justified must have a landed property in the name of the person who is a suspect. Because does that mean that people who don't have landed property therefore can never get bail? What is this? Because these are matters of principle, issues of law, issues of human rights. Now, because they can't really get the man on what they wanted, they say that, oh, why did you give an interview? You want to suppress his freedom of speech? You cannot question his granting an interview. Let us know this in this republic. You cannot question any Ghanaians giving an interview with regard to any matter. For that matter, how do you now, a policeman, whoever that person may have been, now accost Mr. Kpebu and start having an altercation with him? I believe that this matter is most unfortunate. I have been watching this program, 10 p.m. We don't really know whether the man has been released. If this arbitrariness is allowed to continue, it will be a fundamental violation of the rule of law in this country. I am very, very much in these processes. I watched things from the pre-independence days to today. And some of us just can't stand the disrespect for people's rights. It has been going on anyway for some time in this country since 7th of January. I think this should make us all realize that it's time it stopped. And in fact, I will advocate that we should stop this proliferation of institutions of investigation and strengthen the institutions that are already there. If that should happen, it will help our country.
There's no basis, you say, for Martin Kpebu to be detained as we speak.
I beg your pardon, sir.
There's no basis for Martin Kpebu's detention whatsoever.
There's no basis, actually. Because if you say you are investigating him for accusing you, is that part of corruption? But that is your mandate. And you must operate strictly within the parameters of your mandate. And if, therefore, you think he has maligned you, you have to sue him in the civil court or refer him to the NIB or some other investigation body, because you cannot be a judge in your own cause. That is also an affront to the rule of law and a fundamental principle of justice. You see, we should not confuse issues, because Ghana, we should be high up there. And I am particularly unhappy about some of these things which create what I've just described earlier, a Praetorian society. A Praetorian society collapses, and we don't want this country to collapse. It will not.
Now, they're already, even prior to today, questions were asked as to whether the special prosecutor should be the office investigating this said allegation made by Martin Kpebu against the same office, to the extent that this reason why Martin Kpebu is being investigated was an allegation of corruption against the office, and it's the same office that is investigating him. Is that consistent with practice?
No. And that's why I say the special prosecutor cannot be the judge in his own cause. The rule of law affords that ab initio. And for that matter, I say he may either refer him to the NIB or he may sue him in a civil court if he feels he has been detained. Because the freedom of speech issue is very, very important. The man is well known as a man you can give bail to, and tomorrow morning he will come. What is this kind of onerous bail term that he should bring a landed property and it must be in his own name? A Ghanaian doesn't have to have a landed property in order to defend or pursue his human rights, the right to bail. And that is very, very important. And it pains me because does the Special Prosecutor's Office know, they want to tell us that they don't know this fundamental issue of law? And if so, then what is Ghana? Where are we going to? Ghana is too good a country to suffer such things. In fact, the parliament can bring a private member's bill now to have this office dissolved, if that's the kind of situation we are going to have in this country, and then strengthen the Attorney General's office.
We've seen this modus where the investigative bodies, when they're investigating someone, will take this said suspect or anybody they're investigating to an unknown location. Even his lawyers cannot even locate the said client or not even know where they are. And it has sadly become part of the modus that is employed by these investigative bodies. Is it one that you're concerned about?
Yes. You see, it is Rambo style. It is Gestapo kind of doing justice. And Ghana should not accept that.
Alright, abusuafoɔ ɔfa mmienu na no wani gu so a wɔhwɛ no yɛbɛsɛ sɛ unsubscribe yɛbɛsubscribe na like no share dwumadi ama afoforo nso ɛnsa etumi aka bi, and do not forget to click on the notification bell so that any update bi ebe drop bi ano wɔn nso ɛnsa ebetumi aka bi. Abusuafoɔ ɔfa mmienu no ogu so aka nsɛm pi yɛnko ne nkotie nsɛm no do wɔde to dwa.
A man's wife, it's 10 p.m. Ghana is going to sleep soon, and the man's wife doesn't know where the husband is, so that she can also take whatever appropriate steps by lawyers. The man has brought lawyers into the case. His lawyers don't know where he is. That itself is a serious abuse, and it's an abuse of office. And some people must be sanctioned for that. It's an abuse of the legal process, and for that matter, the powers of that particular office. Our constitution states in very clear terms that every discretionary power must be used to satisfy the basic principles of law.
Now, you talk about the office of the special prosecutor, and you say that you expect that Parliament would have a private member's motion to have the office of the special prosecutor dissolved. Now, and I believe that when this office, the bill establishing this office was passed, you were Speaker of Parliament, is it not? Respectfully.
Yes, what?
You were Speaker of Parliament, but you think that
yes,
the OSP, I mean the Office of Special Prosecutor, has outlived its usefulness, or at the time you had reason to preside over the business of having this bill passed into law?
Looking at what is happening and the flagrant abuse of human rights, and also the fact that I would prefer that existing institutions are strengthened rather than having multiplicity of them with all manner of problems for us. Go and look for the man in this particular office. No, he's not with us now. He's with another organization, and so forth. What is this? And I'm saying that we have had strong prosecutors before. If you ask lawyers who are old now, they will tell you about men like Addo. Therefore, if you look at the benefit of hindsight, we better go and do Sankofa and strengthen the office of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, and then do things straight and right and according to the true tenets of the law.
I see. Now, the Director of Public Prosecutions should rather be strengthened and do away with the OSP's office.
That will benefit us, I believe, because they have got pride of ancestry. They have got a tradition. They have got the best practices. And the best practices must be maintained. They must be retooled. They must be strengthened as an office to help do justice in this country. Rather than we put an office up today, tomorrow we change the name, another time we set up another one, and sometimes we don't even know which organization should investigate that. And sometimes there's a clash with regard to jurisdiction and powers. It appears everyone now wants to show how far it can also stretch its powers. We have to rationalize things and strengthen our institutions.
But I recall, I followed the debate on the floor of Parliament prior to this OSP bill, or the bill being passed into an act, and which you presided over as Speaker. All these proposals and recommendations came up, strengthening the AG's office to do what the OSP was being set up to do, strengthening the Director of Public Prosecution to do what the OSP's office is being set up to do. All of those fell on deaf ears at the time. Would you say that, with the benefit of hindsight, maybe you were wrong in that instance?
In saying that, with the benefit of hindsight, with the problems that are happening, with this abuse of jurisdiction and so on and so forth, and people don't even want to go by their limits to investigate matters of corruption. Then it's Kpebu to be investigated for matters of corruption. Is he a public officer? When was he in an action that was a matter of corruption? These are very, very important things. And what pains me, not because it is Kpebu, but because it is a Ghanaian, is that some people want to show power. Some people want to let somebody taste something small, to show somebody where some power lies. These draconian tactics, we don't deserve it. Not in a country that seeks excellence like Ghana.
Is the issue with the office of the or the person occupying the office as special prosecutor?
I don't want to talk about individuals. I like systemic arguments about system. Whether it's the occupant or the office per se, I think this matter requires very serious examination. I say it is past 10. I've been sitting also watching a Ghanaian who is well known for his public critique activities, which of course we also need in this country, whether you agree with his views or not. It's now in custody. They say they are now going to give him bail and so on and so forth. His wife should be at home with his wife by this time. And it is a matter of principle.
Professor Aaron Michael Quay, and I thank you for your thoughts. But the most important call you leave with us is that Martin Kpebu should be released wherever he is right now.
He must sleep on his bed. The special prosecutor is going to sleep in his bed. Kpebu too must sleep in his bed. The Ghanaian's liberty, because he went and spoke to some reporter, so what? Otherwise, the 1992 Constitution is of no essence. Let him talk to media men. Nobody must be worried about that. Nobody must be detained for that. It is a fundamental issue for a Ghanaian. Look, some of us, in those days, around 1992, when we were seriously speaking against the PNDC for certain military tactics, when we went to broadcasting house, the place was dark with Moabs. People will tell you. They could have shot some of us, and we have been even vanished we have vanished into oblivion. So I'm very sensitive about draconian tactics. So we must make sure that anyone under suspicion can also sleep in his bed as a Ghanaian. At the appropriate time, bring appropriate evidence. If you are not a libertarian, you cannot hold the office of a special prosecutor. You must be a libertarian. You must champion the essence of liberty. This is my view.
Right. And the special prosecutor would always reference some achievements that it has chalked over the period. Some $2 million deal in the Minerals Income and Investment Fund and others that he references as achievements of the Office of the Special Prosecutor under Kisi being a special prosecutor. That's not enough justification for the office to be maintained and strengthened?
That cannot be a justification vis-a-vis the liberty of a Ghanaian.
So Martin Kpebu deserves to sleep on his bed.
He deserves to sleep on his bed with his wife, like the special prosecutor is meant to deserve. We are all Ghanaians.
Professor Aaron Michael Quay, I thank you very much for joining us.
And I'm watching.
Yes, I know you do watch all the time.
Also in the bedroom.
Absolutely.
Ready to sleep.
I know.
Somebody must sleep in his bed.
True. I know you watch Ghana Tonight all the time, and I thank you. Thank you for the input, and thank you for the feedback that you give as always. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Professor Aaron Michael Quay is former Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. He's a former Member of Parliament himself, a private legal practitioner, has contributed to shaping our legal framework, our jurisprudence as well in many ways. And he's been credited for a number of things that we have seen as well in time. But the question that I ask about the Special Prosecutor's Office, that act that establishes the office, he was Speaker of Parliament when this Special Prosecutor's Office was established with that act. And he says, this was as far back as 2017, he says that from benefit of hindsight, he thinks that, look, maybe we should just do away with it, strengthen the Director of Public Prosecutor's Office and then the Attorney General's Office to do the work that the OSP has been set up to do. Over the last few days, we've seen the OSP put out its own achievement of what they've been able to achieve over the period. And he's calling on even the members of Parliament to push a private member's motion to have this particular issue being brought to the front burner in Parliament for consideration. It's a very interesting proposal coming from the man who presided over the entire process in Parliament.
All right, busiafo yedamu na masasa moja atena CT ensempire de besom so ye be so say unsubscribe ye be subscribe no like no share dwumede am afofo so ensa tumi akabi, and do not forget to click on the notification bell so be any update be drop bia no won so ensa ebetumi akabi. Busiafo ane ye de dwumede bisi ye be so say unsubscribe ye be subscribe no like no share dwumede am afofo so ensa tumi akabi, and do not forget to click on the notification bell so be any update be drop bia no won so ensa ebutumi akabi. Kan hu say aha POG Media na POG Media de yedin sempa ne nam nti always be an bra POG Media na be pick up best political news na be ya obehu de e ko ne de e ba e wo Ghana amanyosem makram.